Let's talk about the race for AI dominance, because right now it's one of the biggest stories shaping our world, a massive global competition that's changing economies and basically redrawing the lines of power.
All that ambition that once had us looking up at the stars, well, now it's all focused inward, down into the tiny, microscopic world of silicon. And this isn't just about making our computers faster. It's about a fundamental race to build the future of intelligence itself. So in this explainer, we're going to break down that whole arena. We're going to go past the headlines and really get into the three interconnected battlefronts where this whole power struggle is actually playing out: the physical, the intellectual, and the practical.
Okay, let's start with the one you can actually, touch and feel, the battle for compute. Now, compute is really just a fancy word for raw processing power, the sheer muscle needed to make AI work. It's a fight over hardware, a battle measured in transistors and trillions of calculations every single second. And at the very heart of all this, the absolute foundation of AI supremacy is the ability to make the most advanced semiconductors out there. It's pretty simple, really. If you control the chips, you control the capacity for intelligence. And you can see this playing out in real time. Take Samsung's latest move. They're shifting production of their most advanced, their cutting-edge 2-nanometer AI chips to South Korea. Now, this isn't just a simple business decision. Oh no. It is a calculated, strategic play to protect themselves from all the geopolitical drama and make sure their supply chain is secure. So while the big companies are all making these chess moves, governments are literally rewriting the rulebook. They're figuring out that to regulate this kind of technology, you need a totally new approach. And what we're seeing is this major evolution in how they regulate. The old way? It was pretty simple. Just block the sale of specific, super powerful chips. But the new strategy is way, way more sophisticated. Now the goal is to put a cap on a country's total aggregate compute power. So what does that actually mean? Well, instead of just blocking one piece of the puzzle, this new rule limits the total combined power of an entire data center. It's a strategic choke point designed to slow down a rival nation's AI ambitions. This is so much bigger than just trade. It's about defining who has power in the digital age. The game has changed from a simple block to a major strategic limitation. All right, let's move on to our second front. Because even the most powerful chicks in the universe are basically just expensive sand if you don't have the human and informational fuel to make them run. This is the race for brain power. And believe me, the competition for the top AI minds is absolutely fierce. Just look at the recent reports coming out of Mira Murati's Thinking Machines lab. They're apparently facing a major talent exodus, with some of their best people reportedly heading right back to established giants like OpenAI. And that brain drain, it's making investors really nervous, and it just goes to show how critical a few key people can be in this whole field. But look, human talent is only half of this intellectual equation. The other half is the data, the information you use to train these incredible models. So while one lab is bleeding people, another one is on the hunt for better, smarter information. Case in point, OpenAI is apparently trying to license huge archives of peer-reviewed academic papers. They're not just looking for more data, they're going after the highest quality, most rigorously checked data on the entire planet. So why are they doing this? The end game here is to seriously boost what experts call reasoning capabilities. The idea is that by training on trusted, academic-level research, they can make their AI models way better at logical thinking and being factually accurate. It's about moving AI from being a fun, creative partner to a truly reliable scientific tool. And all of this brings us to our third and final front. I mean, how do these huge fights over silicon and brain power actually show up in our day-to-day lives? Well, this is the application battlefield. This is where AI actually gets a job. For the last couple of years, we've mostly thought of AI in the workplace as a chatbot, right? A tool you talk to, you ask it questions. But that whole model is quickly starting to feel a little last gen. The new frontier is all about what the industry is calling agentic workflows. This is where AI stops being just a conversationalist and starts being an autonomous worker. So what does that actually look like? Okay, imagine you forward a flight confirmation email to your AI assistant with a simple note that just says, "Handle this." The agent doesn't just read it. It logs into your calendar, blocks off the travel dates, checks your hotel preferences, finds a room near the conference, and then drafts a booking confirmation for you to approve. That whole multi-step task done all on its own. And this isn't some niche, futuristic trend. It's happening now. If you look at what the big tech companies are talking about, this is the new standard. The entire enterprise software industry is shifting its focus from AI that just talks to AI that actually does. So let's just take a step back for a second. We've seen the three major battlefronts: the fight for compute, the race for brainpower, and the rise of these autonomous agents. So what happens when you put all of that together?
Well, you get this incredibly powerful combination. When you take almost limitless compute power, combine it with models trained by the best minds on the world's best data, and then you give them the ability to actually act, you unlock a completely new era of autonomy. This is where the real revolution begins.
And this all leads us to one final, really critical question. The goal has always been to build tools that work for us. But as these AI agents start to develop their own autonomous workflows, we really have to ask ourselves, in the future, who will truly be working for whom?